At Harcourts North Geelong, we are a local family business and a company built on family values, honesty, results and service. Combine our local knowledge and industry expertise with the global and national resources that Harcourts International offer, and the result is an agency that aims to deliver superior real estate solutions every single time. First making our mark in the northern suburbs of Geelong in 1991 as North Geelong Real Estate, our business has grown and evolved to offer a complete range of real estate services, including residential sales, property management, commercial sales and leasing, and owners corporation management. We proudly employ 30 sensational local people, and while real estate is in our blood, community has always been the heart of our business. We're located at 127 Separation Street in North Geelong. For all your real estate needs, contact us today on 5278 7011 or email us at northgeelong@harcourts.com.au. Harcourts North Geelong, delivering superior real estate solutions every time. Proud sponsors of the North Geelong Warriors Football Club. Good evening and a very, very warm welcome to you all. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It is episode 88, season 4 in fact, and it is an absolute pleasure to be here week in, week out, bringing you all the latest news, views and issues, I guess, from the local game. My name is Tonci Prusak. I'm one half of the co-hosting team here. Steve Curtin joins me, and Steve, good to see you, mate. How are you? How's things with you?
Yeah, good, thanks, Tonci. I feel like a DJ or something, like a performance that Santana Mamone might be at, because I lost my mic stand moving house on the weekend. So I guess it's apt that we're brought to you by Harcourts tonight, given that I've spent the last 3 days shifting stuff all over the place. But yeah, it's been exciting. Kate and I have moved in together. So yeah, sorry about that, ladies, but I'm sure you'll be able to make do. So yeah, very exciting for us. Very exciting for us here. And hopefully it's entertaining for you. And I think, as we said in the 1 minute preamble before the show, that you'll certainly be carrying me tonight. So looking forward to seeing how we go. And how are you going, mate? How are you traveling this Monday?
Good, mate. It's another big weekend, huge weekend in local soccer, local football. It's all happening. There's so many stories to tell. Can't wait for the weekly roundup, because there's a lot of news happening around. And also there's some news that I'm itching to break, but I can't. So probably do stay abreast of what's going on, both on our Facebook page, those lucky members of the Geelong Daily Football News Bulletin. So that is if you're a member of the Geelong Region Soccer Show, if you're a sponsor or advertiser on the Geelong Region Soccer Show, you are all subscribers and you get the Daily Football News Bulletin sent to you every weekday. And you can become members quite easily. It's not very hard to do. We'll actually pop that little graphic up on the screen now. To become a member of the Geelong Region Soccer Show for as little as $15 a month. $15 a month. It's just coffee money, really. Go to www.patreon.com/Geelong Region Soccer Show, and every weekday you will get direct to your inbox a daily news bulletin, original articles written about the Geelong football scene. And like I said, there's lots happening. As you said, it's an appropriate time when you're moving house, Stephen Curtin, that our main sponsor for today is Harcourts North Geelong. Thank you very much to the DZAJKIC family, Joe DZAJKIC and his sisters Helena and Vesna, parents Mari and Mario. It's a family-run business there in the heart of the northern suburbs, a great real estate agency. They are sponsoring tonight's episode, and they have nominated North Geelong Warriors as their club of choice. So the North Geelong Warriors will be focusing on them a little later on. They will be our guests for tonight. Who are our guests for tonight, in fact, Steve? I might just have to carry him there. We've got Aaron Bailey, who's the junior operations coordinator manager. He'll be joining us a little bit later on to talk about the junior operations side of things, and he heads up not only the NPL juniors but also the Metro teams as well. And one of the women's team players, one of the younger members of the women's team, she's a regular member of the reserves and has also factored in the senior team squad as well, is Amanda Jakic, who was also the captain of the very triumphant under 18 team of just recently at the country championships. And she'll be also joining us. And Steve, have we got you? Have we lost you? We seem to have lost Steve there for some reason. His internet seems to be playing up really, really badly, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll get him back. You there, Steve? We might just get him to yep, we've lost him. It's red-lined, so he's obviously in a very, very bad internet zone. That's usually my problem. Folks, we're going to take a very, very short break. When we return, it's going to be time for the news desk. And there's, as we said, there's a lot happening at the moment in the Geelong football circles. So we'll be getting straight into that after this little short break. Okay, we've got Steve Curtin back after a little bit of a break there. You just froze for a while, and I could just see that your internet coverage, for whatever reason, was playing up. But you're back, mate?
Yeah, I think I'm back. I am. Unfortunately, I'm hotspotting from my mobile phone, which is never good.
That's what it is.
And I've just moved it up onto a shelf near the window. And I think, well, you'll be able to confirm this, but I think the reception is better when I put it up there. So
yeah.
I've
fingers crossed.
Plonked it up there, and hopefully that'll get us through. And hopefully my internet will get turned on here as well in the next day or so too, because that could be interesting.
Absolutely. Let's get straight into it, mate. Let's talk about let's turn our attention to the NPL 2 competition. And our featured club tonight, North Geelong, have opened up a 5-point gap at the top of the competition standings in NPL 2. Tell us more.
Yeah, 5-1 winners on the road up at John McEwen Reserve, up in the home of the Goulburn Valley Suns at Shepparton. So yeah, Goulburn Valley, they're certainly not the yardstick of NPL 2 this season. And yeah, we saw there was an own goal as well that they managed to add to it. But Caleb Mikulic, Salvatore Mikulic actually a double. Jurkovic also scoring. Looks like Matthew Breeze has scored for Goulburn Valley Suns as well, an NPL 1 player in the last couple of seasons too. So that's interesting. But anyway, a big win, and that keeps them top of the table. And Moreland City lost to Moreland Zebras on the weekend, formerly Moreland Zebras, now Brunswick U18s. And that ensures that North have got a 5-point lead. And look at that goal difference, mate, plus 27.
Unbelievable. Yeah, no, that's a big thing. Caleb Mikulic, he's managed to he's basically like runaway leading marksman there in the competition. These 2 goals means he's now hit 14 goals for the season. He hasn't played in all of the games either, but some big news happening there in North Geelong. There is the likelihood that there's going to be a big signing happening during the week. And there's also a big departure happening this week as well. At the moment, we sort of haven't got anything confirmed, but there's some interesting movements happening at North Geelong. North Geelong at home to Brunswick City this weekend, round 16 action. And Steve, dead set, like after this round coming up, there'll only be like 6 more games left in the season. This year has just flown ridiculously. And I've got a little bit of bout of depression thinking about the fact that come end of August, there's going to be no local football. That's no good, is it?
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to cope with that. And they've really crammed the season in, of course, after the last couple of seasons, for obvious reasons. But we haven't had those weeks off on Easter and the Queen's birthday that we used to having. So the season has just been smashed out. And I can't believe we're here at round 15, looking ahead to round 16. That's crazy. But look,
does anyone else share my despair?
I'll say that I do too, definitely. But I think the thing is our local league in Geelong should manage to usually run through until around the end of September.
finals
So
included and
maybe it'll
whatnot.
just be like all the attention will go to our Geelong Region Football Association leagues, and that's got to be a good thing. And I'm sure everyone tuning in would second that opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving along to NPL 3. Geelong Soccer Club came up against Nunawading City on the weekend. Not the result that the Lions fans were after.
Yeah, I thought, this might have been a better outcome than this, but as it were, Nunawading coming, the club of Michael Ong coming and getting a 1-0 win at Stead Park on it was on a Saturday night, and so not the result that leaves Geelong there in 6th place, and Nunawading get away, make a bit of a gap, and they go up onto 5th place, but that open up a 4-point gap with McPhee scoring on 24 minutes. So yeah, let's see if they can go onwards and upwards next week, Geelong, after that disappointing result.
Yeah, they're away to Whittlesea Rangers, an important game. They come up against the bottom side. Look, I think, mathematically, they can still do it. They can still get into that top 4 that leads to either automatic promotion, the top 2, or the 3rd and 4th place playoff against the 11th and 12th placed NPL 2 teams. Does that sound complicated or not? But at the moment, it probably looks
Yes.
more likely that they will be kind of a mid-table position. Now, the big news, Steve, coming out of Stead Park middle of last week is the departure of their leading scorer, Vedran Stojanovic, who has, like a yo-yo, returned back to Hume Reserve. He seems to be coming up and down, up and down.
What's the record for transfers between 2 clubs in Geelong?
Look, I don't know, mate. I don't know. That's
For one player.
blow for Geelong, but then it's a big boost for Karaya. And let's now turn our attention to State League 1 because he did score. Now, this is an interesting thing. Vedran Stojanovic, he scored both in the reserves and in the seniors for Karaya over the weekend. They lost to Keilor Park. He came on in the last 30 minutes and did manage to score a goal. So, question is, should he have come on earlier? But nonetheless, this was an important game. This is a real game that, remember, prior to this round, Keilor Park and Karaya were on the same amount of points. So Karaya potentially could have been in that 8th position if they had have, they would have been in that 8th position if they had defeated Keilor Park. But that's a big boost for Karaya, getting an imposing figure such as Stojanovic up front. This week, Karaya, so they're going to be, I think they'll be playing on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they are playing on Sunday. Whittlesea United. Yeah, Whittlesea, they're one of the very, very rare men's state league clubs that play home games often on a Sunday afternoon. So, yeah, it's unique. That's definitely unique. But, yeah, like in this match on the weekend. Definitely.
This is a 6-pointer if ever I saw one. This Karaya needs to come back with the win, because if they don't, well, they're going to be really pushing now with Strathmore. Now, Strathmore, coached by Mickey Chalina, the former North Geelong coach, they held Essendon Royals to a 1-1 draw on the weekend. Essendon Royals previously were in 2nd spot. This division is one of the hardest to see. I actually ran into Mickey Chalina yesterday at Alco Park. His daughter was playing against North Geelong in the girls under 15 game. And he made a comment. He says that it's the hardest league. And now, remembering he's just come back from NPL where he coached with Dandenong City. State 1 is just a brutal league, to get out of and to survive. So Karaya needs all the help he can get. And hopefully Vedran Stojanovic will be able to provide them with that assistance, the wind beneath their wings, whatever, to get them staying in State 1. We want that to happen.
I'm sure you'll do it too.
Yeah. Now, moving along to State 2, mate, not so much a positive a story, I guess, as far as the Geelong Rangers are concerned. Firmly anchored to the bottom.
Yeah, it looks always going to be a tough game, this one, against Upfield, who are doing well. They had a good cup run. They're top of the league. 3-1 defeat in this match at home as well. So, not the result they wanted. Garcia with the goal on 41 minutes, which was only 2 minutes after they went 1-0 behind. I take that back. They went 2-0 behind on 39 minutes. But Yeah, just didn't work out in this match. So they're going to look ahead to next week, I guess, Tonci, round 16. Yeah,
Albion
can they get out of
Rovers.
the situation they're in? I
Tough
don't
one.
know. They're playing Albion Rovers next Saturday
Yeah.
afternoon. Yeah, at Create Football Park.
Yeah, Joe Garcia, he's been really proficient in front of goals in the last few weeks. He's taken his season's tally to 4 goals, and I think he's scored most of those goals in the last month or so. So he's definitely in form, doing really, really well there. Yeah, Rangers, look, struggling at the bottom, but they need a couple of results to sort of, even if they catch up to Moreland United, the second last place side, that's not sufficient. They really need to hone in on either Hume United or Western Suburbs to try and save themselves. Look, they've got seven games to go, so anything can happen. But it's a big one. It's a really, really crucial next 3-4 weeks coming up. Mate, let's move to State League 4. On the weekend, we had a local derby up at Torquay between Surf Coast and Golden Plains. Looks like we've lost Steve again. He's frozen. Oh, goodness me. I'm going to have to carry this. His hotspot is just not working, unfortunately. So we're going to have to push aside. Surf Coast took on Golden Plains, or they hosted Golden Plains. We had Surf Coast win 3-2 in the end. Frank Hadja-Georges, Blake Haggerty and Toby Masters, the goal scorers for Surf Coast. Kevin Neelangle, who's now scored 6 goals, he scored 1, and Captain Ben Vanjek also was able to score 1 goal, but it wasn't enough as Golden Plains went down to Surf Coast 2-3. Barnstoneworth United defeated Bell Park 2-1. Nick Nugent scored for Bell Park. He's now scored a total of 4 goals this season, so he's also been hitting the purple patch, so to speak. And then we're moving along then to State 5, where we had, there we go, Barwon returned back to winning ways, 3-1 win over West Point. Liam Sim, the English import, Jack Kelly, the fullback, and Christian Mann getting amongst the goals. Christian Mann now has a total of 17 goals, and he now is behind his teammate Milton Bailey, who scored 19 goals as the most potent strike force locally. We had those two on the show last week. Other scores in round 15, State League 5, Deakin University lost to Melton Phoenix by the only goal of the game. Lara United doing really well, 5-3 winners over Maribyrnong Greens. Welcome return back to Tristan McGrath, who bagged a hat-trick after missing last week through suspension. Oscar Mayondo and Scott Treblecock also scoring there for Lara United, who slowly are moving their way up to a kind of a mid-table position. The game between Bendigo City and Surfside Waves, well, that was postponed, so that in the end wasn't able to be played for whatever reason. Folks, we're going to take a very, very short break. When we return, we're going to then look at the VPLW competition. We'll also look at the Women's State League 1, 2 and 3, and also the local competition as well. So don't go away, folks. You are tuning in to episode 88 of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. At Harcourts North Geelong, we are a local family business and a company built on family values, honesty, results and service. Combine our local knowledge and industry expertise with the global and national resources that Harcourts International offer, and the result is an agency that aims to deliver superior real estate solutions every single time. First making our mark in the northern suburbs of Geelong in 1991 as North Geelong Real Estate, our business has grown and evolved to offer a complete range of real estate services, including residential sales, property management, commercial sales and leasing, and owners corporation management. We proudly employ 30 sensational local people, and while real estate is in our blood, community has always been the heart of our business. We're located at 127 Separation Street in North Geelong. For all your real estate needs, contact us today on 5278 7011 or email us at northgeelong@harcourts.com.au. Harcourts North Geelong, delivering superior real estate solutions every time. Proud sponsors of the North Geelong Warriors Football Club. Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. I'm feeling very, very lonely tonight because my sidekick Steve Curtin, he's having all sorts of internet issues at the moment and he's unable to connect. Hopefully he will be joining us very, very shortly. Look, in the meantime, we've got some footage here of Geelong Galaxy over the weekend, footage courtesy of NPL TV, and the highlights package has been put together by Branko Kristevski from Galaxy. So thank you very much to Branko. But big win by Galaxy United over the weekend. We saw them record a 9-0 win over Whitehorse United, and an excellent result for Galaxy United. Kylie Alexa scored a hat-trick, Emily Sutcliffe 2, Hunter Gurkovic, the 13-year-old, scored 2 goals. Lola Button and Katie Higham also scored amongst the goals. So that's 10 goals now for the season for Kylie Alexa. Emily Sutcliffe has got 9 goals, and I think we may have Steve Curtin back. Steve, how are you doing? No, we can't. We don't have Steve, unfortunately. We're not lucky with Steve for whatever reason. But not to worry, we're going to push ahead. And, as we can see, the goals in the background there for Galaxy United, they did it extremely well. We'll go quickly to look at the competition standings now. Geelong Galaxy, they've now moved with 18 points now. So they're starting to, they're certainly away from the
internet's
relegation
not going
zone.
super well at the moment. Just very...
No, but we can hear you, can we?
Okay, 1 minute and non-existent the next, it seems like.
No, but we can hear you now, can we, mate? Hello, can we hear you? Doesn't seem to be the case. So the Galaxy, look, they did very, very well. So next week they will be coming up against Melbourne University. Melbourne University are a spot above them, so that's going to be a tough competition, that one. Tough game, that one. That's at Princess Park on the Sunday. So good work there by Galaxy this time around. Now, North Geelong, and we'll be looking at them in a little bit more detail as well. A good win over the weekend against Latrobe University, 2-0. Now, this is the team that defeated Latrobe, that defeated North Geelong a little bit earlier in the season. So a good result there for North Geelong. Jadranka Erceg was the scorer of both of these goals. So a good result there in that regard. But, and we'll find out more about this, I'm told that she's going to be missing large parts of the second part of the season, which will be really unfortunate for the Warriors. But they're doing very well for their first season in State 1. Like I said, we'll find out more information about them, but we'll go back to that ladder as we have a look there. Then we'll also have a look then moving along to the Women's State 2 now. Another club that's doing very, very well in this competition is Lara United. Lara United came up against Maribyrnong Swifts over the weekend. This was a Friday night match, in fact. Basically, Swifts, as Brenton Ray has popped in the comments section, it was park the bus effectively, and Lara had to wait until the 88th minute for Taylor Eastway to pop up and pretty much score a goal from nothing. It was her 7th goal of the season, and to ensure that Lara United maintain their top-of-the-table position and their undefeated position. So they share that along with Altona City. We're hoping to get Steve Curtin, if Steve Curtin is able to hear us. He's trying to connect there. Steve, you there? No such luck with Steve Curtin. So unfortunately, he's having all sorts of problems with the internet. And so State League 2 action next week. Once again, Lara will be involved in a Friday night fixture down at Grange Reserve against Hoppers Crossing. So it's top versus 5th. Kickoff there is at 7:30 p.m. on Friday night. So that's certainly something to look forward to. We've just passed the halfway mark of the season, so Lara United looking good. North Geelong Warriors, if they can string a few good performances, they'll also be in line to gain promotion. And certainly the other team that's doing very, very well at the moment is Geelong Rangers. They've got a game in hand. Their second spot in State 3. A 1-0 win over Avondale over the weekend. And I think it's the top 3 or top 4 teams in State 3 will be moving up to State 2. So they are well positioned at the moment to be doing some good things there at the top of the State League 3 competition. Big shout out to 13-year-old Edie Bertie, who debuted for the seniors for the Rangers. It also must be said that Emily Gerolemu debuted for the Galaxy seniors, and 13-year-old Hunter Gurkovic, as we mentioned already before, she had scored a brace. So there's some very, very talented young players, young teenagers around the region doing very, very well in Geelong, with particularly in the area of women's football at the moment. So well done to those. We're going to quickly now move to the local scene. We're going to whiz through the local scene as well. First of all, to the men's Division 1 competition. Now, unfortunately, we've heard some news, and we'll find out a little bit more information from our guest after the break. Elko Park Cardinals have withdrawn from the Division 1 competition, so that is now effectively a 6-team competition. I don't know if that means from here on end, any game that involves the Elko Park Cardinals will be registered as a 3-0 forfeit. Now, that's exactly what happened on Friday night when FC Leopold was supposed to host the Elko Park Cardinals. That was registered as a 3-0 forfeit. So we had that game on the Friday night. On Sunday, Surf Coast drew with Breakwater Eagles 1-1. Now, the Surf Coast goal scorer was not submitted. The goal scorer of the Breakwater Eagles goal was Jack Wilson. Now, Barwon lost to Bell Park, and Bell Park now opens up an outright lead at the top. Although Barwon and FC Leopold do both have a game in hand, and they are both on 14 points at the moment. But the goal scorer for Barwon was not submitted. For Bell Park, Harris Vidobovat scored a double. And he's been amongst the goals in the last few weeks. So there we go. If we look at the men's Division 1 competition standings after the completion of round 9, Bell Park on top with 17 points, closely followed by Barwon on 14, FC Leopold on 14, and Surf Coast making up the top 4 with 8 points. Just outside the top 4, well, Elko Park Cardinals, they're not going to move from 7 points. Then we've got Breakwater Eagles on 6, and then followed by Armstrong United on 5. Now over to the women's competition. With the women's competition, the round 9 was also played on the weekend, just gone by. All the games were played on the Saturday. Surf Coast defeated Barwon 4-1. Mia McCroach Cripps scored 2, and Jade Feeks scored 2 for Surf Coast. The Barwon goal scorer was not submitted. Over at the Drysdale Sporting Precinct, Drysdale lost to Deakin Ducks 2-4. The goal scorers for Drysdale, Dakota Pearson and Claire Sherry. And the goal scorers for the Ducks, Megan Ryan with a hat-trick, and Hannah Gordon again. I think it's about 4 weeks now in a row that Hannah Gordon has scored for the Ducks. So Deakin doing very, very well. They are the competition leaders, and they've opened up a 3-point lead at the top of the competition standings. But have a look at that goal difference as well. And in the final game, Geelong defeated Geelong Rangers 3-0. 3 separate individual goal scorers for the Lions: Elizabeth Sarcevic, Sophie de Blasi-Vasilevsky, and Mary Gutsis also scoring for the Geelong Lions. So turning our attention to next week's games. In the women's competition. Oh, well, actually, next week there will be no games in the local competition. It is supposed to be a catch-up round. So there are no games being played this weekend, and that brings us basically to the end of our local roundup. We're going to take a very, very short break so that I can catch my breath and I can grab a drink of something just to clear my throat. It's been very difficult just speaking on my own tonight, so if you're sick of my voice, you'll get even more sick of it. But after the break, I'll be joined by the junior coordinations or junior operations coordinator at North Geelong Warriors. He's my first guest for tonight in this very, very special North Geelong Warriors Club in Focus segment. Aaron Bailey will be joining me very, very shortly. Don't go away, folks. An awesome, awesome half hour or so of the Club in Focus coming up after this break. At Harcourts North Geelong, we are a local family business and a company built on family values, honesty, results and service. Combine our local knowledge and industry expertise with the global and national resources that Harcourts International offer, and the result is an agency that aims to deliver superior real estate solutions every single time. First making our mark in the northern suburbs of Geelong in 1991 as North Geelong Real Estate, our business has grown and evolved to offer a complete range of real estate services, including residential sales, property management, commercial sales and leasing, and owners corporation management. We proudly employ 30 sensational local people, and while real estate is in our blood, community has always been the heart of our business. We're located at 127 Separation Street in North Geelong. For all your real estate needs, contact us today on 5278 7011 or email us at northgeelong@harcourts.com.au. Harcourts North Geelong, delivering superior real estate solutions every time. Proud sponsors of the North Geelong Warriors Football Club. Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. For a minute, I thought we had Steve back on, but it doesn't look like we're going to have him, unfortunately. We're going to try one more time. He's redlining. That's not a good sign. There he is. Steve, you're redlining when that usually means you're redlining. That means that the internet connection is very, very bad. How are you, mate? Can we hear you? No, he's rubbing his eyes in disbelief and saying, what is going on? Hello, Steve, you there? Just not going to happen tonight, unfortunately. Just not going to happen. My apologies, folks. Steve Curtin, he's moving house, and it's appropriate that our major sponsor tonight is Harcourts Real Estate. If you are moving house or you're looking to buy a new house, they are the agency to see. They are the agency that specialises in all of Geelong, but particularly in the northwestern suburbs. Look, ask anyone at Alco Park, and they will tell you that Aaron Bailey is the go-to man responsible for everything regarding the juniors. He's my next guest, and by default, Aaron, good evening, and would you like a new role as my co-host for the night?
No, I think I'll pass, but I'll entertain this. Thanks for having me on board, and yeah, it's a shame Steve can't be here as well. But
yeah, no, unfortunately. Well, he's moving to Melbourne, and we all know how Melbourne is. It's way behind Geelong, and they say Melbourne is the most livable city. Didn't it win some sort of award just recently, or claims to be Australia's most livable city? If there's anyone from Melbourne tuning in, my apologies, but yeah, I wouldn't trade Geelong for anything, mate. As we said in the intro, you're like the Mr. Go-To man for anything that's needed, particularly regarding the juniors. It's come and see Aaron Bailey. He's the man that will get everything sorted. But look, there's more responsibilities that your role involves. A lot of people aren't aware of. What exactly is your role at the club?
Look, a bit of jack of all trades, to tell you the truth, but I help out where I can and do what I can, and have for the last few years. Currently looking after I'm the Metro Boys coordinator, so looking after our under 12 and under 13 boys teams. Also been looking after all of the play football registration packages, creating them, approvals, that sort of thing. All of the online sort of stuff, assisting with score entering and that sort of thing.
So is it more of an administrative role, or is it a lot of technical roles, or do you leave that up to the coaches, the technical side of things, and you focus more on the admin/management side of things?
Absolutely, yeah. So I look after more of the administration component and allow the coaches and other officials to look after the technical component of play football, I guess, and whatnot.
Yeah. guess that answers my next question, and that was like, well, first of all, is the role a stressful role? As soon as you went, and then you started into the monologue there, that tells me it's quite stressful. But you've obviously got people that do assist you and do help you. And is that just confined to the coaching side of things? So you've got the coaches that coordinate their various age groups and what you're not. But do you have like team managers? Do you have parent volunteers that help you? Is there a subcommittee? How does it all work?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, there is a junior committee that they help with the community competitions and look after the mini roos component, which takes a lot of stress off my back and other officials at the club as well. I think at North we're very blessed. We have a great culture and a lot of good club people willing to put their hands up and help when needed. So you're right, there's plenty of team managers, obviously coaches, other background officials and people facilitating in the club.
Yeah. Now, in your normal day-to-day role in your professional life, if you for want of a better word, you're actually a manager. You can give your workplace a shout out if you like, or if you don't want to, you want to keep it anonymous. It's up to you. But do you find that you bring a lot of those managerial qualities that you implement, 9 to 5 day weekday job type of thing into your role? And is it hard when you're, say, dealing with employees or workmates who are there and getting paid, as opposed to volunteers who are not getting paid? And you've got egos, you've got different interests and all of that kind of stuff that you have to also take into account. Because someone once actually said, when you're dealing with volunteers, they get paid in ego. So you got to stroke their ego. You got to make them feel welcome. You got to make them feel acknowledged and wanted and all of that kind of stuff, because it's the only remuneration that they'll get apart from doing something because they enjoy it. How do you I don't know, what skills do you bring to the table?
Yeah, as you mentioned, my current role for everybody out there, I work at Geelong Isuzu Trucks. I'm a fixed ops manager out there, and so operations again, it's all sort of same, I suppose. There is a difference between volunteers and paid staff, obviously, but in saying that, I think the whole perception of culture is always the same, and you want to build a good positive culture, whether it be in a workplace or a volunteer organisation. So positive reinforcement and encouragement, I think, goes hand in hand regardless of type of organisation.
Yeah. Now, mate,
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely, it does. Yeah, and it's interesting because I know when I was involved in one particular club, or when I was at Football Victoria, pardon me, and I was dealing with a lot of clubs, a lot of different clubs. One particular club whose operations, I guess, were nowhere near as big as North Geelong's. But what they had, interestingly, what they did was when people sign up to be a member or they sign their kids up, the parents actually state their occupation. So if someone, for example, is a graphic designer, club knows who to go to if they need graphic design work, or if someone's an electrician, they got a list of what they need to go or who they need to go to. So it's having those skills that people are professional at, that are very very adept at, can be used in weekend circumstances at the club. So I found that transfer of skills in your professional life into things like your hobby life, if you like, can be really really beneficial. So it's interesting, your point on it. Now, mate,
Absolutely.
You're also involved, and not many people know this, but you're also involved with the Warriors affiliate senior club, the Elko Park Cardinals. So if your hat's not full with juniors down at North Geelong Warriors, you also deal with the seniors, the Elko Park Cardinals. Now, we heard in the roundup that the men's first division side has pulled a pin and withdrawn from the competition. Now, the players supposedly have, the ones that have stayed, they've merged with the Div 2 team. So what's happened there? Enlighten us.
Look, despite our efforts, there are multiple factors, I suppose, at play which led to the withdrawal of our Div 1 squad. Unfortunately, the biggest factor is player numbers. We we were unable to sustain or draw in the number that we were looking for to have two complete squads.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I know everybody blames COVID as a bit of a cop out, but last year the senior men didn't get to hit the pitch one single time. So for the season, so I think that had an impact, and 12 months later, it makes it hard to sort of pick up and start again.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the local scene there. But look, generally speaking, at North Geelong, how are things going? I mean, it's past the halfway mark for most of the seasons, most of the junior seasons, I suppose. Now's an opportunity to give us sort of a mid-year assessment of the junior scene at the Warriors. Are you on track to achieve everything that you set out to achieve pre-season?
Absolutely, yeah. Our junior squads are really travelling well. So, our boys and girls metro squads right through to even right through to seniors. To tell you the truth, we're all travelling well, and as I'm sure you know, start of the season, our under 14s, 15s, and 16s all made Div 1 of the junior NPL, and under 18s making Div 2. So that in itself is quite an impressive feat through trials, and look, every age group is quite competitive as well, and we're seeing some really good results. Our metro competitions, they're winning most games, if not all of them, and dominating in their leagues as well. So it just goes to show our younger age groups will be coming up through, and it looks like we have some really strong foundation for the future there. So it's quite impressive and exciting.
Yeah. Now, North Geelong had a very strong presence, if you like, in what was a rather historic achievement by one of the local schools last week. A lot of the players that come from the North Geelong NPL setup, boys setup, and also your under 12s Kangas coach, Adam Cholak. They all were involved in the St. Joey's Year 9 premiership winning team. There's a photo of them there. There's a lot of those youngsters there in the yellow strip come from North Geelong Warriors, and Adam on the far right there as well. The first time that that St. Joseph's have won the ACC, the Associated Catholic Colleges premiership at Year 9 level. They've done it at their senior level. They've never managed to do it at under 9 or Year 9 level. So a great achievement there. It's great to see a lot of the younger players that are doing really, really good things, really loving their football. But when you're caught up in the day-to-day running of a club and the day-to-day operations, and as you said, with volunteers, you're always clutching at straws to get enough volunteers and what you're not. Do you sometimes lose sight of the strategic side of things? Do you find time either during the season, or do you sort of start planning as soon as the season finishes for the following year, or do you just have a break and just sort of say, we'll do it after Christmas, we'll start planning then? How does it work? Because obviously at a club like North Geelong, don't you start the trials towards the end of the year? So before that even happens, you've got to get a lot of planning happening. Sort of take us through how the strategic side of things is going on at the moment down at Alco Park.
Yeah, okay. Well, in theory, it always sounds good that there'll be a bit of downtime.
We've got Steve. Are you back? I think we've got Steve back. Are you there, Steve? We can see him. We just can't hear him. No, anyway, continue, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, no dramas. Look, at the end of the day, I don't think it really does stop. One season sort of rolls into the pre-season of that next season. So there's always continual planning and behind the scenes work that's going on from all helpers and staff that are involved.
Yeah. So what are the plans going on, and as far as going forward on and off the park? Is there any exciting sort of developments planned for the off season or looking ahead to next year? We obviously look at the seniors, and if I bring that competition, the NPL 2 ladder up there, we can see North Geelong at the moment with 7 games to go, 5 points clear at the top. And I do believe the next 3 weeks, North Geelong are playing all lowly sides, Werribee City, I do believe Brunswick City, and even Manningham United over the next 3 weeks. So it's a great opportunity for the Warriors to pull away, and in which case promotion to NPL next year is on the cards. Now that's exciting. That'll give the region's talented youngsters an opportunity to play at the state's elite level. But what then happens with the juniors? Like, do you have to now up the ante and what's going to happen at the Warriors in the off season?
Well, I think our standard procedures in the off season of continued training, straight into trials, and then training right through until the new season starts, which is what our Metro and NPL squads do, and I think that sets us up well geared for the new season. As far as planning for an NPL 1 team and being an NPL 1 club, I think. Look, there's plenty involved, and it's sort of hard to say what different how we'll approach that differently at a younger age group, but it'll just be more support. It's been made pretty clear over this last sort of 12 to 24 months that our juniors are quite strong and will be coming through, and we're looking to try and utilize the skills and experience through our own internal squads and players moving up into senior squads. So it's highly likely, and that pathway opportunity is more real than it's probably ever been. So it's exciting times ahead, and we'll just have to wait and see what the season holds.
Yeah. I guess they say there's an old saying, one man's fortune is another man's misfortune, or something like that. And if we were to apply that to football here in Geelong, North Geelong seems to be doing really well and has always been kind of pushing, at the highest end of the elite level. And we've got clubs like Geelong in the boys, or in the men's, and Galaxy in the women's that are also sort of pushing for that elite as well. But then at the other end, football in Geelong seems to be really struggling, particularly at the local community level. We've seen it with the men's, we've seen it with the women's. Like this year, we've got 2 divisions, but it's been so hard to get a decent sort of a 10-team, a fair income 10-team league happening. In the juniors, and we spoke a bit this off the air a little bit about this, there are a lot of now clubs that are non-NPL clubs, Geelong Rangers, I believe. There's clubs from down on the peninsula, down south, also looking at entering teams in the metropolitan competition. So we're talking just juniors here, Aaron. What's your take on the current situation with football, the Geelong junior scene here in Geelong? Are we going in a positive direction? Are things starting to fall apart behind the scenes? What's your take on it?
Yeah, look, I feel that the local competition has maybe hit a bit of a stalemate as far as continued development and growth for junior competitions. Personally, I think based on that trend of more and more clubs now looking and applying for access to the metro competitions, that may be something in the near future that the GRFC and Football Victoria need to at least sit down and look at the potential of incorporating our junior competitions into the metro competitions. I think personally that would allow continual growth, as well as allowing them to still play at their right level. They're not going to be overwhelmed with a high level competition they can't compete in, because there's such a diverse range in the metro competitions. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer from my point of view.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic, and certainly one that I think is worth exploring down the track, and it would be something that we'd love to hear what other people think as well. So if you're in the chat section, if you're involved with junior sport with the junior teams at your club, and you've got an opinion about that, should the local clubs, the non-NPL clubs, be sending their teams up to Melbourne? What with the local Geelong scene? Should it be absorbed into the Melbourne competition? There's even been talk about Geelong being almost like a fifth zone, because we are kind of in many, many ways administered by Football Victoria, by the head office. So there's even talk of that being, maybe a not a possibility, but being a suggestion. But nonetheless, Aaron, we do appreciate your time. We thank you so much for coming on the show. Thanks once again to Harcourts North Geelong for sponsoring this week's episode and nominating North Geelong as their preferred club in focus. Wish you all the best down at Alco Park. And if you're down there and you run into Aaron, he's a lovely guy. He's heavily involved in the club down there. And we hope you're involved with the club for many, many years to come. Thank you for being a part of tonight's show.
Thanks, Tonci. Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. That was Aaron Bailey. He's the head of the junior operations down there in Geelong. At North Geelong, sorry. We're going to take a very, very short break. When we return, we're going to be speaking with one of the brightest young female talents in the region. She was the captain of the very triumphant under-18 Geelong rep team at the recent country championships that swept everything before it. She's also broken in to the North Geelong Warriors senior women's team, and she's only 16 years of age. So we're going to hear from our next guest, Amanda DZAJKIC, very, very shortly. But in the meantime, here's a couple of words from our major sponsor or major episode sponsor for tonight, Harcourts North Geelong. At Harcourts North Geelong, we are a local family business and a company built on family values, honesty, results and service. Combine our local knowledge and industry expertise with the global and national resources that Harcourts International offer, and the result is an agency that aims to deliver superior real estate solutions every single time. First making our mark in the northern suburbs of Geelong in 1991 as North Geelong Real Estate, our business has grown and evolved to offer a complete range of real estate services, including residential sales, property management, commercial sales and leasing, and owners corporation management. We proudly employ 30 sensational local people, and while real estate is in our blood, community has always been the heart of our business. We're located at 127 Separation Street in North Geelong. For all your real estate needs, contact us today on 5278 7011 or email us at northgeelong@harcourts.com.au. Harcourts North Geelong, delivering superior real estate solutions every time. Proud sponsors of the North Geelong Warriors Football Club. Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show, and that is a lovely little intro to our next guest, and she is a member of the North Geelong Warriors senior team, and that footage was taken a couple of weeks ago after a win down at Alco Park. A big shout out to everyone down there, and welcome to the show, Amanda DZAJKIC. Amanda, welcome to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Oh, very good. Thanks. Very good. Now, first of all, let's start off with well, congratulations in order. You were the captain of the championship winning under-18 girls team at the recent Geelong Country, well, not the Geelong Country Champs, it's the Victorian Junior Country Championships. Firstly, how did you see the tournament? It was from my end, it looked well organised by Geelong Soccer Club and Geelong Rangers, who coordinated the whole event. From a player's point of view, how did the tournament eventuate?
Yeah, well, it was really good. We haven't been able to have it for the past 2 years because of COVID, so it was great to finally get back into it. Yeah, it was fun to play with the girls that I played with in previous years that I only get to play with at these competitions because we're from different clubs and stuff. So yeah.
Who was your coach? Tony Horrocks, was he?
Horrocks and Ashley.
Oh, yes, fantastic. Yeah, they did a great job. Two very, very experienced coaches. Yeah. And I know I was up there on the Saturday afternoon up at Myers Reserve, taking into account watching some of the action. And I think I was there and I blinked. And within 5 seconds, the under-18 girls had scored a goal. I can't remember who the team was, but it just looked like a very, very free-flowing game of football. So that's great to see. Now let's talk about your own soccer career. Firstly, look, how did you get into soccer? Obviously, you started at North Geelong as a junior, but who were some of the inspirations and some of the ones along the ones that provide you a lot of encouragement along your path?
Yeah, well, I started in 2012, so I was 6 years old. It's 10 years now, which is crazy.
Gosh.
I've been involved in the club from a young age, so I think just growing up watching the senior men's play, and I just wanted to try the sport for myself, really. Yeah, I was supported by my family. I had older cousins playing and things like that. And one day just showed up to a training with my brother. Yeah.
How was that when you first turned up to training with your brother?
Yeah, well, do you know what? There was one other girl. It was all boys, me and another girl. And so it was hard at first, but I really began to love the sport when more girls started playing in the
Mhm.
next few years, and it's just grown ever since. Just the social part, I think, is what got me going and kept me going. And yeah, I just make friends from those beginning years, and we've kept in contact, and a lot of us are still best friends since then, and we're playing together still as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's good.
It's those connections that really make it what it is, and you must be thrilled. Like when you're like a veteran now of the local female scene, aren't you? For in those 10 years, you would have seen a tremendous amount of changes, positive changes, and we're starting to get more and more female friendly dressing rooms, for example, more female coaches, female referees. But also, there's a lot more of an emphasis on female football in general. Where once upon a time, a lot of the clubs used to look at female football as just a novelty and nothing else. But there's a lot more of that concentration, a lot more of it being taken seriously. Your club, for example, North Geelong Warriors, is one club in as well. And I know when I was working at Football Victoria, and we were working with a lot of the clubs to try and get female sides up and running. At North Geelong Warriors, they've really had a patient kind of a build-up, trying to build it from the ground up, from mini roos and then to juniors and then feeding into the seniors. Must be really exciting times at North Geelong.
Yeah, definitely. Like before I said, we started off the first under nines mini roos girls team in 2013. There were 8 of us, and since then we've grown dramatically. I think there's about 120 girls playing for North now, roughly.
Wow.
Incredible. And there's a great range of quality coaches across all those age groups in mini roos, juniors, and all the way up to seniors. So yeah, we've got female-friendly change rooms, great facilities. There's just a lot of support from the club, 100%, and even the club community. Like I know, playing women's and reserves, we get a crowd at our games sometimes. It's not just our parents watching and things like that. There's other families from the club coming down to watch, or they'll stay back after their games to watch the women. So yeah, it's great support, 100%.
Well, we saw from that little snippet there was a lot of junior girls as well that came into the dressing room afterwards. And there's always, in years gone by, there's been a lot of push to get some of the mini roos to walk out onto the pitch with the senior women. And that's fantastic. But another element where you can see the club really taking things seriously is in the coaching ranks. Now, your dad, who's a former president of Lardor, he's also involved there. But we've got players, coaches like Frank Simovic, who's played at the highest level, Ivan Herzeg, the senior women's coach, Ahmed Sulaimi, who was going to take a break from coaching after he was an assistant coach with the senior men's team. He's been roped in and he's involved. And then Michael Anderson, 12, 13-year veteran of the senior men's team, who retired at the end of last year, he's on the coaching panel. That's pretty impressive having those coaches around.
Yeah.
How do you find it as players having that type of caliber of coaching at the club? And like, it's not like they're there and coaching a boys team or a men's team. They're fully focused on coaching the women's.
Yeah, they're great. They've all got different personalities and different knowledge from their experiences, like you said, coaching NPL and playing high levels as well. And they all have the same aims and goals for us girls. So they put together their knowledge, their experiences, and together they just work so well. Couldn't ask for better coaches, honestly. They know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. They're great.
Now, a bit of a shout out to one of your teammates who's only 17, I think. And she was also in the country championships team there with you. And she's crossed over from Surf Coast, young Bailey Gates. Now, Bailey's doing the C license course with me as well. So there's a few of us from Geelong at the moment. Now, a young lady of 17 years of age, and she's doing her C license course. Is people like Bailey the future of providing more female coaches as well? And we've seen Louisa Kump, who's in the senior team. She's coached the Mini Roos for many years. That now transition from playing and becoming a coach as well, female coaches. How important is that to sustain the growth of women's football at North Geelong, for example?
Well, yeah, I definitely think it's great that more females are becoming coaches and things like that. I think it's really good for those young girls, like to have someone to look up to as a great role model. Like, for example, like Louisa and Bailey, those younger girls will see them playing levels at seniors and things like that and be inspired to play and continue to work hard and keep going. I think it'd be great if we could get more females into coaching and things like that for the role models for those younger girls.
Yeah, well, speaking of role models, we mentioned your dad, Vlado, who's a former president of the Warriors and an ex-teammate of mine going back many years ago. Big shout out to your dad, Vlado. But how important has he been to your development? I mean, he's a coach there at the club. You're a player. It can be sometimes difficult having your dad as coach, but sometimes that can also work in your favour. How important has he been to really support you and to guide you along the way?
Yeah, well, so he coaches the reserve side alongside Frank Simvic, and he's very passionate about his soccer and very passionate about our team. So I think that's supported me in my development so much. He's always giving me pointers, wanting me to improve, and like if I'm not understanding things, he'll sit down with me. We'll watch YouTube videos, go through things on the whiteboard or physically, just until I get it. I think it's also really beneficial for our team having like my dad and Shani's dad, Frank, as our coaches, because me and Shani can sometimes be those voices for the team. Sometimes girls don't feel comfortable going to coach and saying, hey, I don't understand this, or training is too difficult, training is too easy. Well, if they let us know or we notice they're feeling that way, or we're personally feeling that way, we can tell our dads because we have that different relationship with them.
Yep.
And they can change the way they go about trainings and games and stuff to support the girls and benefit the girls in the long run.
How old are you? 16?
Yeah.
Wow. Your maturity just is incredible. You just speak. You're so well spoken. Credit to you. And we've got some more fans that are in the chat popping up. Another former North Geelong Warriors president, who's also my co-host on the Oz Crows Soccer Show podcast, the sister program of this show. Bravo, Amanda, champion player from a champion family, says Josip Zilic. Well done, Josip. We've also got Giselle Welcome Harris, Dale's wife. Actually, Dale is Giselle's husband. And well done, Amanda, she says. Victorian under-18 girls and to the coaches, absolutely. That was a fantastic achievement, fantastic result. So that was well done. Amanda, where to now as far as your own playing career, your own soccer career? Only 16, you're knocking on the door of the first team. We spoke with Aaron Bailey earlier today, and there's every possibility that in your first year in State 1, you could quite easily get promoted to VPLW next season. That is incredible. That is amazing. But regardless of that, where would you like your soccer to take you?
Well, I just want to keep improving, honestly, keep staying fit, because I enjoy it so much. Hopefully in a couple of years' time or so, I'll be a full exclusive player in the senior squad.
Hmm.
It would be great if, like, the girls I've been playing with over the past 5 or so years that we've been playing together, we could all work our way up together into the senior squad and hopefully get promoted into VPL or go as high as we possibly can. And yeah, I'd also be interested in coaching a mini roos team, that's for
Oh,
sure.
there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
might be joining you on the C license.
Ah, there
But
you go. By that stage, hopefully I've finished, or you never
oh yeah,
know.
but
I'd like
yeah,
to think
be good
that.
for those girls to have role models and things like that. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, the future is certainly bright down at Alco Park. We're going to have a look at the competition standings there for the State League One seniors. North Geelong currently in fourth spot with 18 points there. Spring Hills above it, Essendon Royals and Brunswick Juventus as well. If you want to see Amanda in action and some of the other girls from North Geelong Warriors, they will be at home on Sunday. They take on Craigieburn City, second last place Craigieburn City. The reserves kick off at 1 p.m. and the seniors will be in action at 3 p.m. Amanda, once again, thank you so much for joining us here on this
Thanks for
special
having
North
me.
Geelong Warriors Club in Focus program.
Thank you so much.
Good on you. Thank you very much for joining us, Amanda DZAJKIC from the North Geelong women's team. Well done to Amanda. What a well-spoken young lass, and it was an absolute pleasure to have her on the show, folks. We're nearly out of time. Quickly before we do wrap things up, learn with Lustica football training session. Steve Lustica from Western United. He's holding a series of clinics over 2 days, Tuesday 5th and Wednesday 6th of July, up at Myers Reserve for under 8 to under 10 boys from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. For under 10 girls to under 14 girls from 10:15 to 11:15, and then boys from under 11 to under 14 from 11:30 to 12:30. $50 per session or per day. $100 if you wanted to do for both. If you wanted to book there, on our Facebook page, you'll be able to have a link. Click on our Facebook page. So that is Geelong Region Soccer News. On our Facebook page, there's a link there. You can also go to the Geelong Rangers Facebook page, and also to Lustica Coaching Facebook page as well. We hope to have Stephen as our special guest on next week's show. And we certainly hope to have another Stephen Curtin, joining us as he does week in, week out. We've really missed Steve tonight, Curtin, that is. So hopefully he'll be back with us again next week as well. Thank you so much for being a part of tonight's show. We really, really appreciate your presence with us. We've gone a little bit over time, but we had so much to talk about tonight. Thank you very much once again. Until next Monday night at 7 p.m., it's the Geelong Region Soccer Show, and may your team win this weekend. Good night.